Good morning to everybody from Fern Forest. Pam and I's goal when we moved out here to Hawaii was to actually be able to be self-sustaining in every part of our life. The reason I want to do this video today is driving in our Chevy Bolt. We bought a 2020 Chevy Bolt, and this is a big component of self-sustainability. With the gas prices rising like crazy, especially here on Hawaiian Island, our gas right now is sitting at $3.98 a gallon. And from the sounds of things, with the Alaska oil field being shut down and the Keystone pipeline being shut down, it sounds like gasoline is just going to get more and more expensive. So we bought this Chevy Bolt, and we have solar power on our house. It's not quite enough to power this thing up, so we are getting a new solar system to power this. And then once that's put into play, we'll be able to charge this car off of the sun. No more driving into the gas station to fill up. Another nice thing about this car is there's no oil changes. So all that kind of maintenance you got to worry about is no longer here. There's no warm-up time when you hop in this car to go. You just put it in gear and head on down the road. But anyhow, I wanted to do this video just to show you guys how really nice these Chevy Bolts are. These cars are super nice. For one thing, if you listen, you don't hear anything. It's like the quietest ride ever. But anyhow, I was going to show you a couple of the features on the car here while I'm rolling down the road. Let me get on up here past this speed bump. These cars are very interesting, and I didn't realize what they did, but they have a feature on them that the electric motor actually, it's called regen. If you look down here on the dashboard, you'll see that little thing right there that says regen. So you can take your gear stick right here and throw that right into L, which is where we're at. And what that means is that they call it one pedal driving. So instead of me hitting the brakes, all I gotta do is let off of the gas. That little regen light lights up, and my electric motors now turn into electric generators. And those electric generators now are actually generating electricity, sending it back to the battery to be stored. What a great thing this is. When we went over to Kona on the other side of the island, we went up over the volcano, and boy, that took a lot out of the battery. But the nice part is when we came back, coming down it, with our regen, built up a bunch more electricity. So at first we thought it was going to take a lot of electricity to get over there and back, but in reality, coming back, we regen for quite a bit of the ways there. But anyhow, I wanted to show you this feature on this. If you look right down here, this is the LED. It's like a nice big computer LED screen display. But if you hit this button here, energy, what that does is that's going to go into whatever mode you want it to go into. Let's see if I can take a look here. We're in the energy charging mode right now. Let's see if we can do the flow rate. So we hit flow. Now if you look right here, that's showing the electricity coming out of the batteries and flowing into the electrical motor. Now as soon as I let off of my gas, watch what happens. Now it shows the electricity flowing back to the batteries. It's in regen mode. But it's really cool how it recharges itself going downhill, and it's really nice. I don't have to hardly ever use my brakes. I probably touched my brakes one time on this trip to Hilo, that's it. There's no need to touch brakes when you're regen. It applies brakes pretty hard when it regenerates it. It really slows down your car. I think pretty much only in an emergency you'd have to use your brakes. Other than that, you can get used to driving this car with the one pedal operation, utilizing the low setting on the gear shifter. And as soon as you let off a bit of gas, watch what happens to my speed. We're at 32 miles an hour. Let me let off. Look at how fast this thing slows down. Look at that. Didn't even touch my brake. That's the regen. And you'll notice that little light down there was spinning around. And if you would have looked over here, if I'd have had the camera over there, you would have actually saw during the regen that electricity going back to the battery. But these cars are amazing. This car is super fast. It's got a little button right here called Sport. If you turn that on, it applies all the electricity to the battery, from the battery to the motors. And boy, oh boy, does it fly. It's pretty impressive. This car will go to 0 to 60 in 6.8 seconds. That's almost Chrysler Challenger speeds right there. I mean, this car will actually spin the tires. It's pretty crazy. But anyhow, I'm getting back onto the dirt road now, and I'm going to probably cut this video short here so I don't have to bump you all around. There is a couple other things I wanted to show you real quick, though. If you look down here on the dash, just right here, those lines going down, those lines right there, that tells me that I've been going uphill, and I'm going to be closer to only having 100 miles range instead of the 152. Strictly because I've been coming uphill all the way out of Hilo up to the house here. So you have quite a variance of range depending on what type of driving you're doing. These cars act like sports cars, and if you drive them like a sports car, which is big fun, your battery wears down super fast. So you got to trade off if you want to drive this thing like a crazy guy, and it will do it too. This thing is super fast. You're going to pay for it in your loss of range. So I just wanted to share this with you because this car is definitely going to be the way to go in the future, I believe. There's becoming more and more charging ports around the cities here on the island, and I think it's the case back on the mainland too. The nice part is they're starting to give us preferred parking spots in places like Walmart and Home Depot, and that's kind of nice. You have to have an electric vehicle to park there. They're trying to encourage people to buy these things to get rid of the dependence on the fossil fuel. All the fossil fuel in Hawaii has to be shipped in. We have no drilling on the island. There's nothing here. There's no propane. There's no natural gas. And there's definitely no oil wells. But anyhow, I just wanted to share this with you and show you some of the controls on this Bolt. And I think this is going to be a really good part of our self-sustainability. We'll be able to drive right by the gas station and flip them the bird at their high prices. Anyhow, you guys have a great day out there.